Hi, it's Recovery Mom. Let me turn my heater off. I might be a little bit muffled. That's because my phone is resting on my steering wheel, and honestly, I am too tired to hold it. But did you know? Did you know that your brain changes so much when you have an eating disorder? We have so much research out now about this. When you have an eating disorder, you simply don't see things the same. Did you know that they did functional brain imaging studies? I did a TikTok about this a long time ago. Every once in a while I repost it. Maybe I'll repost it again. Where they did functional brain imaging of people with anorexia and humans without. And then they showed them a mirror. They had them look at themselves. And people who looked at themselves without anorexia, their brain lit up in a certain way, right? People with anorexia, those brain spots that lit up on someone without were dark. They did not light up. It's as if we don't even see ourselves. So we don't see ourselves. And what happens? The eating disorder fills in those gaps. And that's why we hallucinate fat stores on our body. That's why we simply, generally, usually, now I'm not going to say 100% because there is always those exceptions to the rules in everything, even science, there's exceptions to the rules. But when humans look at themselves, they don't see themselves. So anorexia tells them they're larger than they are. And that makes sense in the backdrop of a famine environment and a scarcity mindset. If you really saw how emaciated you were, you would likely be too afraid to keep moving and migrating and find food, right? Nowadays, that's going to kill us, that brain chemistry. But back when we needed that brain chemistry to keep us alive, there was a purpose to it. That's why our eating disorder shuts off that part of our brain that sees ourselves. It's a survival mechanism. It helps us cope with that famine and it gives us that scarcity mindset so that we keep moving. There's reasons for that, but yes, our brains are so different. Did you know that you have hormones and neurotransmitters responsible for movement? We don't just move because our hormones and neurotransmitters are adjusted in such a way, whether high or low, to make us seek out movement. Some of us have naturally higher levels than others. When you have an eating disorder, that hormone that makes us seek out movement is in overdrive. It is super high, and that's what makes us seek out so much movement. And again, it makes perfect sense in the backdrop of, the evolutionary migration theory. Again, it makes so much sense if you're trying to move from a famine and find the food. We have to keep moving. So that is abnormally high. And we have research now to show this. Did you know also that you have hormones, neurotransmitters that are responsible for you seeking out certain types of foods? The reason we seek out like high calorie, high fat foods is because you have brain chemistry telling you that you want that food. When you have an eating disorder, we have high levels of the hunger hormone. So we have this backdrop of hunger, but then also we have abnormally low levels of those neurotransmitters that make us want to seek out high calorie, high fat foods, which is why we all tend to be afraid of the same shit. Why are we all afraid of those high calorie foods, right? And high fat foods, and we end up with orthorexia, right? Or all the clean eating craze that we go through. I used to tell everybody I was just being healthy. I wasn't sick, but really I had a hormone in my brain keeping me away from those foods. So I did a pamphlet on a lot of these. You can go check it out. It's on my website, which I haven't been to in ages. I don't even remember the name of it. recoverymom.coach, maybe? I don't know. But I have a pamphlet there. Oh, it's probably linked in my bio. I'm sure it's linked on Linktree. You can go find that pamphlet, download it. When you have people in your life that don't understand the brain chemistry changes, give them this pamphlet. This pamphlet explains those brain chemistry changes wonderfully, right? So hand them this pamphlet. I used to sneak it into doctor's offices and stuff. I haven't done that in a bit. I need to do that again. Next time I go to the doctor, I'm going to take some of those. I'll bring you along and show you. Anyway, yes, our brain chemistry is completely different. And again, the only way to solve this problem is to eat, is to get back to your set point and maintain there long enough and to eat regularly and to eat breakfast so your brain doesn't think it's still in a scarcity environment. Okay? Wow. Anyway, I'm so sorry that we live in a world where humans don't understand this yet. Hopefully they will eventually. I do find myself talking, then getting discouraged, talking, then getting discouraged. And so can only imagine what it's like when you're in the midst of recovery, dealing with humans that don't understand. But you are strong, and I know you can recover.